Ladies and gentlemen, not only the new developmental projects and the new axes taking place in Alexandria, also Egypt is looking to establish the new Tahya Masr multi-purpose terminal, which will transform the Alexandria port into a transportation, maritime and logistics hub. Egypt is really working round the clock to boost its transportation and maritime sector to reach the hub status by 2024. Let's check out this report and we'll be right back. Within the framework of the Egypt 2030 Sustainable Development Strategy, the government is currently implementing a comprehensive plan to develop and modernize the country's transport system as a whole, including roads and bridges, railways, the underground metro and electric railways, seaports, river transport, land and dry ports, and logistics centers. The roads and bridges sector had witnessed major developments, reflected in Egypt's rank on the World Economic Forum's International Competitiveness Index for road quality. President Sisi launched the National Road Project in 2014 with the goal of developing and extending Egypt's 23,500 kilometers road network. When the project was launched, Egypt ranked 118 in terms of the quality of its road infrastructure in the World Economic Forum's Global Competition Report. By 2019, the rank was raised to the 28th place. The National Road Project will not only improve internal trade, but will also increase foreign trade, since it links the domestic road network with the international one, so economic growth will be positively affected as a result. From 2014 to 2024, it was planned to implement 1,769 projects in the roads and bridges sector at a total cost of £464 billion. So far, 1,522 projects costing £274.3 billion have been executed. Since 2014, the 7,000 kilometers of new roads envisaged by the National Road Project, 4,800 kilometers have been built at a cost of £120 billion. 1,400 kilometers are currently being constructed at a cost of £37 billion. Among the newly constructed roads is the 350-kilometer Sharm el-Sheikh road, constructed at a cost of £3.2 billion and inaugurated in 2019, with the aim of shortening the journey time between Cairo and Sharm el-Sheikh to 4 hours. Regarding bridges, it was planned to construct about 1,000 new bridges and tunnels at major road intersections and railway crossings at a total cost of £140 billion. 756 new ones have been successfully constructed over the past few years at a total cost of £105 billion. In 2020 alone, 156 bridges and tunnels were built and inaugurated, among them 26 bridges in East Cairo that were built during the same year. New transverse axes were being constructed across the River Nile from a comprehensive development perspective. The idea is to reduce the distances between them to 25 kilometers and to link the urban center with the centers of economic and productive activity. One of the recently constructed axes running across the River Nile in Aswan Governorate. For this reason, it was planned to build 22 bridges or tunnels across the Nile by 2024 at a total cost of £34 billion, bringing the total to 60 instead of the 38 before June 2014. 11 have already been implemented, including the Talha, Benha and Tahya Masr Bridge and the world's widest cable-stayed bridge, and the Adli Mansour Bridge at a cost of £14 billion. Construction work is ongoing on 4 more. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and now we're joined over the phone by Dr. Youmn Hamaqi, the Professor of Economics at Ain Shams University. Dr. Hamaqi, can you hear me?
Yes, good evening.
Good evening, Dr. Hamaqi. Now, we are following up on the inauguration of the developmental projects taking place in Alexandria Governorate, the second biggest city of the Republic of Egypt. Now, they're all mainly leading to transforming Egypt and especially Alexandria into a maritime transportation and logistics hub. Now, how can such projects really affect immediately, or as soon as possible at least, the economic status of Egypt?
Actually, these transportation, methods and facilitating it can play a significant role for economic development. Since we are talking about the second largest city in Egypt, Alexandria had witnessed congestion during last year because of increase of population and these roads and such inauguration can play a significant role by, like you mentioned, Alexandria can be a very important hub for attracting foreign direct investment, since we have to mention industrial, clusters in Burj Al Arab containing different types of industries that have a very good potential for increasing competitiveness of such industries for exportation. Besides Alexandria port that witnessed significant reform and amendment and expansion during the last period. And we have to remind ourselves with Marsa Alam near this area. So this whole area regarding Alexandria can play a significant role as, a very important location for attracting foreign investment for very profitable projects according to our studies as economists. Besides what we witnessed today, it's not just by enhancing infrastructure for attracting investment, but enhancing the quality of life for the population living there, specifically as improving the quality of life for slums, and transferring them into new areas in which they can live in a better life. By facilitating ways of life in different conditions, healthy conditions, and supporting the sustainability of such life. I believe that what we need to do, with all these activities, very fruitful activities, what we need to do is to work harder regarding economic empowerment of poor people, regarding, encouraging investment specifically for SMEs and for micro enterprises in this area. And I believe that what nowadays the government is working in is how to link large with medium, with small and micro enterprises, so that we can complete the value chain for producing either for export or for producing at home instead of importing a lot of products that can be produced at home. And our studies also as economists is proving that we have a comparative advantage in such industries.
Well, today during the inauguration, President Sisi actually made a few important points, one of which was that the road and transportation network only served about 30 million citizens before 2014, hoping by 2024 it would serve 100 million, and he spoke about the economic challenges, the Russia-Ukraine conflict, the repercussions of the coronavirus pandemic, the energy crisis, the global energy crisis, and he emphasized the importance of creating about 1 million job opportunities every year in Egypt. Now, how difficult or challenging would it be to try and create all these developmental projects and these job opportunities by the year at least 2024, and at the same time deal with the repercussions and the price hikes caused by the global conflicts?
This a very good question because nowadays Egypt is witnessing severe challenges regarding the impact of what have been through during last year's COVID and then the Russian-Ukrainian war. And all this, challenges had affected all countries of the world, but Egypt was prepared in this period to to achieve a better rate of growth, taking into consideration economic reforms that we have been through starting 2016, and we were about to achieve a rate of growth approaching 6%. Unfortunately, what happened of these two crises that they had affected seriously our capability to achieve such a rate of economic growth. And from my point of view, actually, what President Sisi has mentioned regarding the challenge of, generating opportunities for youth, 3 million job opportunity, I think that Egypt is having the potentialities to do that. Since, we have very important, capabilities for enhancing investments by using, the capacity in our banking sector. We need to encourage investment. We need to use, our resources in the banking sector efficiently enough. And from other point of view, we need to enhance the productivity of our companies, specifically informal sector. All this can represent very good potentialities to add capacity and to increase value added in Egypt. And I believe that this period actually needs such approach, that we have to concentrate on using our capabilities in the best way and upgrading skills of human resources in Egypt, so that productivity can enable us to enhance wages. And President Sisi mentioned today that by rising the minimum level of wages in Egypt, this was regarding the government sector, but still for the private sector it is a challenge, since the private sector nowadays is facing severe challenges to confront the impact of these two crises. And according to that, the only way for the private sector is increasing productivity of workers and enhancing competitiveness of our products, so that we can address properly the crisis.
Mm-hmm. Professor Dr. Youmn Hamaqi, the Professor of Economics at Ain Shams University, thank you very much for joining us tonight. And ladies and gentlemen, we'll be off to a short break and we'll be right back to really focus on the effects these projects have and the current status of the tourism sector. Let's go out for this short break and we'll be right back.